Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Mordechai. The Daf learning Torah today. Freilich and Chanukah will be Beseder Gomer. The Olam and the Hebrew guys, they put here, I just want to show you, Parnas Hayom, Schuz Chaverina Yokar, Shimi Braun, Shakish Baruch Yimalchus, Roincha, Bekefal Keflayim. He lost his entire matzah bakery 2 days ago. Machlim Chavri Shiur. This at a Chanukah Masiba at the home of Mendy Kaf. The boys are willing to put down the phones to connect to Hashem. This is real. Thanks to you and MDY family. Dvar Ma'yutzim and Alev, Nechasim and Alev. Your influence goes far and wide. Maybe Zoicha to reach many, many Yiddish souls that are searching for the real light. Alright, check it out. Check this out. All the phones they put together over there, not to use them, and each one has an MDY sticker. Gewaldig. Gershon Schwartz. Dear Belly, my name is Gershon Schwartz. I'm Shiur Bach from Motzei, originally from France. My Chavrus in Yeshiva got me to join since Oirius. Since then, I'm doing it every whatever. I'm a FFB and haven't felt geschmack in learning Gemara. Thank you very much. You should be zochet mechazik many Yidden. Joe Berry, been a member of MDY since Masechtas Shabbos. I'm almost always found in Zoom. I've Baruch Hashem made a number of friends with other MDY Zoomers at the 710 Shiur. I really enjoy when you say hello to all the people that come into the base measures. You ask them for their name and where they're from. Unfortunately, we on Zoom frequently do not hear their answers unless you... I don't either sometimes hear their answers. Unless you happen to have to repeat what they said. It would really be nice if you could make a point of repeating their names, or at least where they come from. That I do, no? I say, oh. That way, on Zoom, we can feel even more connected to the people sitting in the base medrash. May you continue to bring more and more Jews to Torah with your wonderful Daf Yomi Shiur, Joe Berry Moreshet. We accept the sponsor. Right before Shiur, we had a little surprise. Should I tell them what it was? If you come to the Shabbaton, you'll see Nachman Seltzer produced the song, and they were doing a music video for it. So they practiced with the Olam, came Chayenu part, very nice. The whole Olam was into it, and now I'm going to hold you when I ask you to sing a song, and it's like a bunch of dying frogs singing. I know that you guys could sing. You just gave it away. Even you, I saw you singing. It was usually like you're busy schmoozing, and here you were into it. From now on. You know what? You know what? Let's sing a Geschmack in Nidhi. No. Yem chayenu v'yarech yomeinu uboem nege yom ha'valaylo. Yem chayenu v'yarech yomeinu uboem nege yom ha'valaylo. Shkoyach. To hear the whole piece, you got to come to the Shabbaton. It's not going to be released only on the Shabbaton. That's it. Teaser. The Sechta is sponsored by David Salomon, dedicated in memory of Avi Moiri, Reb Shmuel Baruch ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doi Zuchroin Levrocho. The Sechta sponsors anonymous. Lili Nishmas Doi Di Shlomi Yehuda Zuchroin Levrocho ben Shmuel Chaim Asher Shokav Velom Kochim Kol Chayav. Anonymous. Nazeich Nishmas Nochem Tzvi ben David. Sponsored by Skyberg Capital. In honor of our friends Meir Kovacs, Taki, and Sham Shli Shlafrag for the devotion Torah starting this year. Joe Gedalis, Lili Nishmas my father Jack Gedalis. Anonymous. Hatzlocha Beruchnis Ubegashmias. The Cheetah Man. Trail sponsors, Anonymous from London, Parnasa B'Shefa. Multi-sponsors, Anonymous, Plidam for Fushleima for the world's best dad. Aaron Ben Chai Sarah. Anonymous, Brachad Blidai, Baruch Tzvi Simin Shoshana Le'av Yehuda Ben Yom Ben Chava. Anonymous from London, Hatzlach B'Parnasa. Arya Simon, Fushleima, Avi Meir Baruch Ben Miriam. Weekly sponsors, Back in Rach Family, Zevachim Shmas Yosef Ben Eliaz Yisrael Galud, Galud, a Lomzer Talmud who lived Torah his whole life. Daily sponsors, many Farkash, because it's not about the Daf, it's about the Yomi. Yisrael Helprin, engagement of granddaughter, Hindi Cohen from Lakewood to Binyamin Unger of Passaic, all in the same month. From Simcha to Simcha. They're going to be together? They're going to... A month apart. Wow. It's our loss. Daily sponsors Michael Canner for the merit of Refuah Shleimo. Yechiel Chaim Ben Esther was having surgery today. You should have Refuah Shleimo. Avi and Esti Bar for the new grandson and their wedding anniversary. Mazel Tov. Chaim Itzinger for the reopening of Tudor Green. Batzlacha from the MDY London crew. MDY Art. Refuah Shleimo Yonatan Eda Ben B'Sheva Bracha. Refuah Shleimo Mordechai Ben Esther. Refuah Hayeled Daniel Zeh Ben Hayeled Esther. Yeah. Oshi, where's Oshi? I saw him walking around before. Oshi, Shalom Aleichem. He comes on his. I want to show you because I think people in the edited version got this. I just want to show you because I said to teach the Olam here in what you should do. Do not be embarrassed. Bring another Yitzhak Torah. My son caught this. I don't know why he turned off the video. Like he said, he was busy. He was in the middle of something. Check this out. We're going on Kvish Echad and there's bumper to bumper traffic. So I told my wife, slow down. She knows what that means. She gets into, this is the position. She's holding to this. She starts going like this. She starts hiding. She knows it's going to be embarrassing. And I guess he said, oh, Rebelli. But here, this is the next part. I got weak. I got weak, he says. And that the video goes off over there. In other words, he's saying that he used to do the daf with us, but nechlashti, I got weak. But I brought my father. I said, no. So he says, I don't have that much time. I said, I just heard all that music coming out of your car. You can do it now, bumper to bumper. Ah, you're right. Okay. Oh, there was an English version. Sorry. Okay, fine. You got the idea. You got the idea. Not everybody speaks English. Hebrew. Rabbis are holding up Tzadik Yom and Beis by Ahut Tanura. Like 13, 14 lines from the bottom. Ahut Tanura. There was this oven. Da'at Chubei Techayo. They put the oil of, not oil, the fat of an animal. Fat of an animal is fleshik. It's a meaty. And here, something like this, Rabbi said here, he's dunking this paintbrush into shemen in some country somewhere. Smearing it in the oven.
Technologia.
So that's Atchu B'Techayo. He put some oil with technology into the oven. The Atchu B'Techayo. Asra Rabbi Bar Eloi, the Mechla L'Rifta. Rabbi Bar Eloi said it's also to eat the bread coming out of this oven, La'olam. Any bread ever made in this oven, in 15 years from now, would be also. Vafilu b'milcha, even if you eat the bread just with salt. The problem is, Dilma Osi L'Mechla B'Kutcha. You have fleshiks absorbed into, or meaty, what are they saying? In England, meaty. You have fleshiks absorbed into the oven, and that fleshiks will go into your bread. And now you eat bread. A lot of people eat bread and butter, bread and cream cheese, whatever you're eating your bread with. What do they do? Those sandwiches, the grilled cheese sandwich. Grilled cheese sandwich. Oh, yeah. With, of course, I don't know if you know, but the grilled cheese sandwich has to have butter on both sides of the bread. Butter, not oil. Layla, the cleaning lady, that our babysitter when I was 5 years old taught me how to make it. So I used to make it since 5, 6 years old in Rockaway. Grilled cheese sandwich with a lot of butter. Yeah. And the white cookbook, Rabbi Say. That and scrambled eggs. 2 things. Omelets. 2 things I know how to make. Zeo. But look what he says. He says even if you're gonna do some sort of hasaka, it's called. You light up the oven over and over. No, it's absorbed in the walls of the oven. Get rid of it. Can't use it. Why? Because of kutach. You guys, once in a while. I know all know it, but we got to show this. Rabbi Say shechiyanu. We could actually speed it up, probably. I've been waiting months for this Mishnah. This is the Mishnah where I got to show you what kutach is. I have to show you. I've been preparing this. I said over here, I'm only going to do it once. I can't break my kli here. I said only once. I have gloves. It's always. I got to show you what they ate in those days. But I showed it in the Hebrew one, unbelievable stuff. I don't want to ever forget this kutach. It's big stuff. It's very, very chashuv stuff. And we talk about it a lot in Shas. We're only going to do this once. My hair. I kept milk for over 6 months to get it to the right consistency. This is Sour, should be sour.
3 years,
I also have a piece. I have a piece of bread.
Maybe David Salomon didn't see it.
That's mamish mold, should be mold. Unbelievable mold. And now we're going to take. It's Zevachim. We're going to do this. Yeah. It's Zevachim. The smell. Rabbi say, it's Zevachim. Let me. I can't.
Yeah, it was during Corona.
You guys are not furnished.
There's like the whole
Hey,
base
to top it
measure.
all off, we're going to put some special Melach's Daimus. Wow, this is good.
What? Yeah?
And we're going to mix it. This, Rabbi say, is kutach. This is what they used to eat.
He was wearing a mask.
You understand what I'm talking about? This is geschmack stuff. In those days, Baruch that we don't live in that generation.
He refused to wear his mask.
Can you imagine?
Remember? The whole place. You had 10
If you
people.
behave nicely, I'm going to give you some of this kutach.
Get out. No.
Let me keep it over here for a little bit. It might come up again soon.
All right.
Fine. Zog the Gemara.
You should keep a jar next to the Mizbeach.
A jar of kutach next to his mask. Yeah. Maybe. Enochanami. But it grows people out. Rabbi say, you heard that if you behave nicely, your father would give you kutach in those days. And kutach is milchiks. It's made out of milk. And you might eat the bread that has fleishiks together with the milchiks. Meisvei. And loshen is isa b'chalav. You don't need the dough with milk, vim losh, and if you do, kolapas kula asura. Everything that the entire batch is also from the hergel avera. Because you might come to eat that bread together with meat. Today, in Eretz Yisrael, I don't know about in America, if you make any product, if a bakery makes a product that's milchiks, they'll make it in another shape. So they'll do the berekes, any berekes that's milchiks is triangle. Every sufganiyah that has milk in it, like a caramel or whatever, there's a flag on top that says milk.
Not just triangle, other shapes also.
They have other shapes, but there's certain shapes that are reserved for parav, certain shapes are reserved. Because of this halacha. Because people shouldn't get confused, and you'll see almost every suganiyah has a little flag on it that says chalavi. Although the actual halacha is said by bread that's eaten with milk and meat, donuts not so much, but you got to be careful. Some they even have donuts with meat inside of them, whatever. So it's a little bit of a chumrah, I think, on these items. It's like a cheese berekes. A berekes is not something that you really eat with. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. That's why you'll see different things here and there, different shapes. Meisvei. Similarly, in tashin is ataner ba'alya, you don't smear the inside of the oven with the fat of the tail. Vimtash, and if you do, kolapas kula asura, the entire bread is also achi yasik is atana. What does it say here? It says that if you do hasaka, if you heat up the oven, that's enough to get rid of the flavor that was absorbed in the walls of the oven. A second ago we said that it doesn't work forever and ever. You can't use this oven. Tiyufta the Rabbi by Eloi, Tiyufta, it's a bomb question on Rabbi by Eloi. It says over here that hasaka works. So we just established that you could take a kli and heat it up, and you'll get whatever was absorbed in that oven out. So if that's the case, if you have chametz in a kli, absorbed in a kli, you must break it. What if Pesach goes by? Then you also have to break it. Why? Because it's chametz of Pesach. We view this stuff, this chametz, in the kli as chametz. You can't have chametz on Pesach. And you must break the kli. The question is why? Why don't we just heat it up? You just said if you heat it up, you could take anything that was absorbed in the kli. So you'll heat up the kli, and it'll remove the chametz from within the kli. Yeah, okay, we're not going to... This that we said before, that you could heat up an oven, and whatever it is will come out of the oven, that's
a metal oven, not that of earthenware. Earthenware you have to break. No, we're talking about earthenware. There's two things that we're talking about. We're talking about an oven and we're talking about a pot. When it comes to an oven, you could heat it up from the inside, and that's perfect. Why? Because it absorbs from the inside. So if you heat it up from the inside, it's good enough. He wants to say, I don't want to confuse anybody, but the point is that the heat, the blias, the absorption came from the inside, or pop it out from the outside, from the inside. If you're gonna put a fire to the outside like this, again, I have to say, Kobe Goldman, conception, when you went on vacation, you're gonna use heat from the outside, it doesn't help because the absorption happens from the inside. Now, and the other thing is we're talking about an oven. He didn't do an oven, he did this. So you'll understand the idea from this as well. Heating it up from the inside. I guess we could figure that out on our own. But imagine using an oven. Okay. Voice saying of the Tanakh. Ask the Gemara. So what's the problem? So don't use the torch on the outside of this earthenware. Use it on the inside of the earthenware. Says the Gemara, it's a problem. Since the pot is not made to put the fire on the inside like that, the pot, where do you fire? You fire from the outside. So he's concerned that if he puts fire inside the pot, it might crack it. And therefore what? He won't do a good job. Either he'll fake it, you won't do a great job in the inside, or he'll use the fire on the outside. He'll say, no, I can't do it on the inside, I'll do it on the outside. What? Why is it a
You're afraid that he's not going to warm it up properly. And even if he does, you're afraid that he's going to eat it with milk.
No, that's normal. To eat with milk is, I guess, yeah. That's what people do, no? I don't think it's exeri might do with milk. It's usually you eat bread. You eat bread on the weekdays, you eat bread on Shabbos meal, there's milk, there's, Hilkoch, says the Gemara, Hilkoch, Hai Kuvio, here in Ramat Shemesh, or like in Florida, you see they make the tiles made out of, what do they call the red tiles here?
Shingles. Roof shingles.
The rafim, but the roof shingles made out of clay. Oh, so they would use these clay tiles. They would flip it over, like especially the tiles that go on the spits of the roof, those round ones. Flip it over, put a fire underneath, and bake a bread in there. Smear with some fat from an animal. Put a bread in there and cook it up. Geschmack. So hai kuvia sekim b'chutzu v'asir. Shlomo did a video, I guess, that covered Kobe. What's kuvia? Here. This is Kobe Goldschmidt. And these sweatshirts just came in yesterday. He gave one to Salman kid. He's literally straight out of the Hebrew art school. Hi, Kuvia. What's Kuvia?
זה היה תענוג לעשות גרפים וסרטוני AA השבוע. עכשיו, בוא נראה מה זה קוביה.
No, it's fake. Not even him. He wasn't wearing that sweatshirt yesterday.
זה קוביה.
What, your wife can't do that? Put your hand into the fire for a few. No, women, they put their hands, they touch the things. They don't wear gloves, they grab the trays out of the, you know what I'm talking about? No, it's just something you're about to get used to. Okay? So, because the way here, check out this picture. The fire goes from underneath. So the fire is from the outside. You can't put the fire inside because he's gonna be worried that he might crack it and break it. Comes Aser. This is Aser forever. Ask the Gemara, why do you have to break the earthenware pots of the Beis Hamikdash? Put it back inside the oven. In other words, if you take any kind of earthenware, you put it in an oven, there's no chashash inside, outside. It's gonna get burnt up. All the blias are gonna come out, and that's it. Here.
Hello and welcome to Yesterclay. This is my reproduction Roman kiln that I built in my back garden. I made an amendment this time and lowered the entrance to the chamber from the firebox to create more draw and get the flames licking underneath all the pots. There they are, around 50 of them. Different cooking pots, dishes, jugs, you name it, I made it, and there we go, we're popping them in. Trying to do it neatly so they don't fall on each other too much. If one goes, they don't all topple down into a big mess. There you go, dishes are all on top to finish. Time to light it, and you start the fire outside the firebox and then move in, building up the temperature gradually until hopefully you get this, which is glowing pots. Amazing, I'm so happy that they're glowing. Then I seal the chamber and the firebox up like that, 24 hours before cutting it all open to find my pots.
It turns into red, and it like. Wait a minute. This you got the video? You understood? You take the Gemara says you have a piece of cheres. Yeah. Let's say this is cheres, and I use this, and there's some blias inside there. I take this as is with the blias. I put it in an oven. I'm not spraying it with fire from the outside to the inside. I'm putting it in an oven. I cover the oven like this guy just did, here like this, and I leave it in there for 24 hours, whatever he did over there. But the point is that all the blias pop out, and maybe I can reuse it. What's the problem? There's no chashash that I only going to do from the outside, and I really need from the inside. Because the heat of the oven goes in. It doesn't matter. The heat is from the inside, it goes into the inside. What?
No, but how come the guy's not scared? The crack.
It's gonna crack.
No. Exactly. When you put direct heat from a torch, like we showed, from the outside, that's one thing. If you go from the inside, it'll break. If you take a torch in the inside, but if you put it into an oven, let's say you make cheres, it's not going to break. And the kiln, this oven kiln, is going to eat up all the blias. There's a Gemara in Baba Kama that says there's 10 things about Yerushalayim. Here's the list of the 10 things. And number 6 is Ve'ein oisim ba'ashpasos. You don't make piles of garbage in Yerushalayim. Ve'ein oisim ba'kiv shoynos. And you don't make kilns. All the smoke, in China they have a lot of pollution. The pollution, smog, air pollution. You don't want Yerushalayim to have black smoke. Omar Abaya, very good. So you solve one problem. What?
Other places they can do it?
Yeah, every place they do it. What? Other cities don't have kivshainas. How are you gonna make earthenware?
Luther to do this?
Just not in Yerushalayim.
Technical problems.
Yeah. We're talking about no factories.
No,
time out. How do you make pottery? So there's a thing, in case you haven't been there, a lot of people go to these pottery places. They have it in Bet Shemesh also. They give you a little, like a half-made thing. You draw on it, whatever. You do your painting. It's a chalamayit trip. Well, chalamayit is not so good to do. You do it on with a family trip. You go. Each kid gets like a cup. It's white, and then you put it in a kiln, in an oven, and they cook it or bake it up, and poof, it becomes nice. This kiln that we're talking, you cannot do in Yerushalayim. They don't have these kind of fires in Yerushalayim. Why? Because there's a lot of smoke that comes out the top, and it's not appropriate for Yerushalayim to have smoke. Together with the Beis Hamikdash and all the kedusha that goes around Yerushalayim, there's no kilns. Says Abaye, so what are you going to do? You're going to make a pile of the stuff in the Beis Hamikdash. It's also on the list. Number 6, right before it, it says you can't make piles of garbage. So how are you going to make a pile of the shards of the broken pieces of cheres? Says the Gemara, Shmaya Bekal Nevoy, says the Chassam Sofer that why does the Gemara bring the place that he lived? Shmaya Bekal Nevoy. Because Kal Nevoy was a place, he brings the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Daf Samach Gimel, it's a place of Avodah Zarah. So you really shouldn't be mentioning Avodah Zarah, you shouldn't be living there perhaps. He says he does a whole thing that this cheres, which is really an inappropriate kli, it itself is not a good kli. And you use it, and there's a little kedusha in it, so even that you have to bury. So He says, if you have a Talmud Chacham in Kalnavoy, you think you shouldn't live there. If you live there, the Avodah Zarah is mashpi on him. He says, no, his Torah is mashpi on the place, and that's why it's called Shmaya B'Kalnavoy. And he says, Shivrei Kli Cheres Nivloim B'Mkoima. When you break an earthenware vessel, it gets absorbed wherever it is in that place. So Kobe did this. Yeah, I don't know. Here, this is what
Maybe
Kobe
I'll do
did
it this way.
You weren't here?
Now what?
But now we have to break it. You ready? Good. That's good. Oh, but that piece, this piece right over here, stayed. Yeah, only the cheres. But the newspaper went in. It's a newspaper. There's a Mishpacha newspaper. Yeah. Oh, but there was on the magazine. There's a little bit of cheres taka. So the whole. Why was in the Beis Hamikdash? Why was the oven made out of metal? Make it out of earthenware. Why? We established there's two types of earthenware. This is the oven, and that the heat comes from within, and that it's okay. You could heat it up and get rid of the blias. You have pots that are problematic because you have to heat it from the outside. People don't like to do it from the inside because they might crack. But in the Beis Hamikdash, we're talking about an oven. The oven is not a problem. You can just heat it up and get rid of the blias. Says the Gemara, a chiddush. Until now, we're talking about blias. No, there's something else to consider. We have the two breads, and we have the lechem aponim, the 12 lechem aponim. Listen to this. This might shock you. If you came to Shiur just for that, are you allowed to make the dough of the lechem aponim, the holy bread of lechem aponim, in Bet Shemesh? Probably you'd say no. So I'm telling you, chiddush, yes, you could. Here says Rashi, she'inasim b'kli sharis. The problem of the lechem aponim is that you're not kneading it and using any kli sharis. L'pi she'ein tuunim shemen. You don't need it. Any oil. K'damir beperek shtei alechem lishasam v'arichasam b'chutz. What does b'chutz mean? In Bet Shemesh. You don't have to be. What?
Maybe it's out of the Beis Hamikdash.
Okay.
Not dafka out of Yerushalayim.
Maybe out of Yerushalayim also. There's no Inyan to make it in the, if you don't. There's no kedusha. You bring ready-made bread with the shape, and then you bake it inside the Beis Hamikdash. And look what Rashi says: the tanur mikadeshlu. The tanur is the kli sharis. How do you make everything in the Beis Hamikdash has to have a kli sharis to give it the kedusha? It has to say this animal is kaddish. This blood is kaddish. How? You put the blood in the kli, becomes kaddish. You put the bread in the oven is the kli. So it has to be kli. It can't be kli cheres. Ukli sharis the cheres le'avdino. We don't make any kli sharis made out of earthenware. The Tzadik Vavam Beis, sponsored by Adar Global, special experts in international payments, Stephen Schwartz, Lili Nishmois, my parents, Million J. Schwartz, former owners of Arnes Deli in Lakewood, New Jersey. Chaim, we should pretend that we're doing a joke or something, and the other one will laugh. No, how do we do it? We should practice. Maybe he's good at getting the Olam to do it. So I'll say the color war, and the Olam goes. They're laughing like crazy.
This we could do.
Oh, you're a guy that holds grudges. Wow, the whole shit. Wow. You gotta let go. You let go. Oh, that was a joke. Hey, he says, say his joke again. You ready? You ready to do it again? Hold on. Who says the punchline? I have to say the punchline. Okay, you ready? And this you're willing to chazer over. Okay, didn't work. Rabbi said, this is a kiss from Hashem. This is mamish in Yonah D'Yayma. If you remember, we had him selling Avodah Zarah. This Gemara. There's certain klisharis that weren't made out of metal. They were made out of wood. Which klisharis was made out of wood in the Beis Hamikdash? Anybody?
No, they're wrong. What? The menorah and Bayisheni. The wrong korban bluch. It was covered with gold. The menorah was made out of wood. They didn't have money. They couldn't afford it. They made it out of wood, and they said, and later generation they went up, and then they went up until they were able to get gold. But that's only wood, never kli cheres. The eight of the cheres loy, because cheres is even, I think they even talk about it that it has, not that it's zol, it's like something wrong with it. It's like it's earth. It's that's something else. I'm saying that even the cheres itself, it's a very, very simple kli, and whatever. Okay, I saw that they said that there's like a tum in it. There's like something wrong with it. Story time. Rabbi say, Agadata of Zevachim. Rav Yitzchak bar Yehuda have a rogel kamei de Rami bar Chama. Rav Yitzchak bar Yehuda was a Talmud of Rami bar Chama. Shafkei va'azl Rav Sheshes. He decided to go to a different shiur. He went to Rav Sheshes. Yoim Echad.
This could be very sensitive. Whose shiur did he go to?
Wait, so what's that? Hold on. People leave shiurim.
Where'd he go?
They have to have a good reason.
People also get kicked out of shiur.
They do. There's only one person that got kicked out of this year. Only one person so far, but I plan on doing a few more. So, Shaf gave Azal Rav Sheshes. He went to Rav Sheshes. You know the feeling. Yoim Echad Pogabei. He goes to a chasana, and who does he bump into? Oh, it's uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. His old Rebbe, Omar Lei, Al Kafto Nakton Reicha, Ozila Liyad. So there's a saying, and he called him basically a Balgaiva. The saying, you think you're going to hold the hand of the duke, of the prince, or whatever, the second command, you think it's going to rub off on you? You think the perfume that he wears is going to rub off on you? A lot of people think that if they hang out by Gdoilim, they become Gdoilim. Or if they hang out by wealthy people, he'll drop like a mill over here. It's not, that's what they think. Chaloimus. You think you're going to go to Rav Sheshes, you're going to be Rav Sheshes? What do you think? Yeah? Mishum da azaltloch. Another thing, I don't want to knock, but sometimes yeshiva bachrim, they make the wrong cheshbon. If they do it for the right cheshbon, you say, I'm going to Brisk because I want to be a lamdan. I want to learn lamdas. Okay. You go to Brisk because you want the name. You want to be part of that. You have to have the right reason why you do certain things. Yeah? I said yesterday, I learned in yeshiva in Passaic, and the wealthiest Jew that was alive at that time, he was known as the wealthiest Jew, sent his son to Passaic. The covet that he got when he came in, like everybody wanted to be his chavrusa, and everybody, they thought, that was his name. I don't want to say, he was from Toronto, I'm not going to say exactly what his name was. They thought that if he, and then they learned that, like I saw him once, he put money into the vending machine, and he was shaking the machine because the thing didn't come. I said, Tzaddik, no, still too, put another bug. Yeah, and it turns out that his father was mechanachim and unbelievable. He gave him the same allowance that every bacher had, and then one time when his father's private jet was in Newark Airport and there was an off Shabbos, his father said, you're going to go regular, you're going to fly economy like a regular bacher. And that cost him money because he had to pay the extra $500 for the ticket. He could have had it free. No. Once that happened, nobody wanted to be his chavrus anymore. No. They all thought. People think. They think. So, Omar Lei, la mishum hachi. So when I was learning this, it was pasha to me. You could argue. He wouldn't go over to his Rebbe and say, listen, Rebbe, I have a problem with the way you're teaching me. I want to go to another. He'd say, what? I know. You think if you go to Rav Sheshes, you're going to be like Rav Sheshes? This is not why I went. You, when I would ask you a question, so he's being blunt with him. Why? Because he just ripped into him. He shtocht him. He called him a balgaiva, basically. You're going for the wrong reasons. He says, okay, now I have to be honest with you. When I ask you a question, you use logic. The problem with logic is, so I have a brisa that says the opposite of you, so your logic flies out the window.
Rav Sheshes ki beina milsa minei pashli mimasnisa. Rav Sheshes was an expert in braises, says Rashi. So Rashi brings the Gemara over here. Shemishnayis duris bepiv. He knew all the mishnayis, the braises, k'tamrin be'ervim rachizim rachshin sispasim mimasnisa the Rav Sheshes. Oh, I'm going to get there in a second. It says Rav Chisda, when he came to meet, when he met Rav Sheshes, he used to shiver from fear. So he's going to ask me now a contradiction, two brides. He's going to expect me to know the answer. So Rav Sheshes was the big expert. Who else was a big expert of Nachman in brises? Oh, Mamish Mechaven. Rav Yosef also was a tremendous. He was a Sinai. You know all the brises. What's the tzad shav of the two? They were both blind. So perhaps, you could say, they were blind, so they had to learn about pen. No. There's those who say because they were blind, so they didn't have room in their head to see other things and to take memory space and to take Torah space. All they had in their head was Torah, and they were able to be top. So he says, I ask him a question, he brings me a ride from a brisa. End the story. Sometimes somebody's going to bring a brisa fakert. So you give a contradiction from another brisa, masnisa. So it's one brisa against another brisa. Omarlei. So Roman Bar Chama took offense to that. Omarlei. Ask me anything, and I will give you an answer with logic. You'll see that my logic matches the brisa. So he asked him a question. Bishul b'mixas kli, showing you what mixas kli means. I thought when I was learning it, mixas kli. What was mixas? I cooked in partial pot. What does that mean? You think it means like you did half of the pot, halfway up. You cooking soup, halfway up. That could be one shot, but it's more like this, to the width. I only used half the width of the pot because a pot of soup, all the steam goes up the walls. It's probably not as good as this. It's possible that there's no blias on the left side of this. You made an egg on one side. Okay. So he's asking a question.
He says after it was off the fire. That's what Tyson says.
Yeah, I don't think that's the regular shot. But okay.
It has to be like that because of the heat. If it's the heat in the rest of the pot, then it's going to absorb everywhere.
Why? There's nothing to absorb. The egg is over there on the right side, not on the left side. So if there's heat on the left side. How's it absorbing? How's it absorbing?
It creates steam. The egg is going to give off steam.
Steam's up.
He says that some of us have that in there tomorrow.
Okay. Half of it is off. Okay. So he asks, we're going to get into Meriko Shtifa a little bit more as we go on. Does it require to wash out the pot, the entire pot, or you just do that area? You don't have to wash the whole pot, just that area of the food. So he tells him with logic that if blood hits part of your garment, you don't have to wash the whole garment. We learned yesterday. Just wash that area. So too over here, you just have to wash the area that is blias. Says Rav Yitzchak Bar Yudah, he tells him, there's no brisa like that. You told me that you're going to tell me logic, and I'm going to match it up to the brisa. Where does it say in the brisa? It does say in the brisa. It says in our Mishnah, it says kibeged. It says beged. Talks about clothing. And I'm going to say kibeged. A pot is like clothing. Ma beged and intonim kibos el mokim dam. I'm playing it on Meriko Shtiva el mokim bishul. So basically, it's the same thing. There is a brisa like me. Just like you only have to wash part of the beged, you only wash part of the pot. Omarle, me dummy. What am I, stupid? That's just a joke. They used to say in yeshiva. Me dummy. What am I, stupid? Me dummy. Is this similar? Dam le'mifapeh, bishul mifapeh. Blood doesn't go anywhere. Bishul, the steam, not even the steam. And anybody made French fries or schnitzel knows, get your hands away from there. It's going to go everywhere. Yeah? It sprays, it goes, it moves. Now, this is literally checkmate. There's hazah when it goes on the clothing, you have to wash the clothing. There's a chumrah that Merikin Shtipa doesn't have. And there's something that Merikin Shtipa has that when you have to wash your clothing from blood, it doesn't have. The hazah works with all chatos. The inner ones, the outer ones, achatos. You have to wash your clothing. What about from a bird? Chatos of a bird that we learned? No. But a chatos, inner chatos, outer chatos, yes. I just have to make sure. Oh, there's a video here. I'm not going to show you this video. I decided not to show it because I wasn't shown this video before the Hebrew Shiur. I showed it in the Hebrew Shiur, and basically, it's a little gaivadik for me, so I'm not going to show it. No, I'm not going to show it. But I will show a video that I missed yesterday. That has to do with this a little bit. Here we go. Basically, look at that fancy building next door. Sure, tell me. I think it looks like a famous Israeli.
Help me!
Code red, the blood of a chata'at offering that went outside and became tama.
Okay. Make chayzik from the whole zach. A guy came to my house a month ago with his whole mishpacha. He had one of those black vans, you know, the black vans that take you around there. Yisrael came to my house for like, he said it's only going to be 10 seconds. But those 10 seconds, he hurt my heart. He's a big part of MDY. He says he just came from a Makubal, and the Makubal said, if you give me $10,000, I'll give you a bracha on chveisvas. I'm like, and you gave him? He says, yeah, of course.
Yaakov says, do not go to Makubal.
Okay.
Yaakov Hill. Stay away. Yaakov Hill is a big Makubal. Do not go to Makubal. Oh, so hold on a second. Let's explain. If the blood gets on you before the zrika of the dam, you have to wash it. What's merika shtifa, Rabbi said? Merika shtifa is when you cook something in a pot. There's no cooking in any pot unless there's zrika. And by the way, there's no cooking on one of those two chatois. Which one? The chatzas achitzon is something that the koyanim eat. Chatzas apnimi that goes in the heichal. What do you do with it? You got to burn it. So there is no merika shtifa. And also there's no merika shtifa before the zrika sadam of the chatas, because you can't eat it if there's no zrika. So that's the chaymer of hazah. Chaymer merika shtifa, shem merika shtifa neges bein bekachim kachim, bein bekachim kalim. Shtifa, as we saw, according to most, is also in kachim kalim. Now listen to this. What is this called right over here? Bishul b'miktzas. Our case. Part of it was on the fire, part of it wasn't. It's on the right side, on the left side. Bishul b'miktzas, hakli, ta'un, merika, ushtifa. Bishul b'miktzas hakli. If it was part of the kli, ta'un, merika, ushtifa, kol hakli. The entire kli needs merika ushtifa. What is that? That's a checkmate to Rami Bar Chama. Rami Bar Chama says you don't have to wash the entire kli. Over here it says you have to wash the whole kli. I'm going to throw this in. Why not? thought about this. There's something I've been doing for a while, and I think it's kishmak. When you do dishes, I used to do dishes in the house for years ago. It's been a long time. But if you take the dish right after you eat and you put it in the sink real quick, it takes seconds. If you put it in the sink and you wait for 2 hours, you have to work 3 times the amount. So this is Yesod. A lot of people know this Yesod, but I'm going to say it anyway. Nekoit klal ze biyadcha. Anything that takes less than 2 minutes, do it right now. For all the procrastinators out there, I'm one of them. It's an amazing tool, be'emes. If it takes less than 2 minutes, just do it. Do it right now. A phone call, do it right now. Otherwise, you're going to pay for it. It's going to take you way, way longer later on. Anyway, weiter. This has to do with washing dishes. So, but this is a checkmate. So says the Gemara, you don't have this. This is only by Miriku Shtifa. Omar Lei, so Rabbi Bachava concedes. He says, Itanya Tanya. You're right? Okay, if you have a brisa, I'm wrong. So what is he saying, Rabbi Isai? Let's bring this home. What is he saying? You're right for leaving me. You're right for leaving me. I thought, what was your reason? Because Rav Sheshes could give you a brisa. I thought I could also give you a brisa. I couldn't get you a brisa. So therefore, you did the right thing by leaving me. Why do you have to wash the entire kli? Even if you only cooked in part of the kli, you have to wash out the whole kli.
So that when he left, it wasn't personal. It was timing back on him. He thought I could do
this is
Vara and you'll have a brisa.
yeah.
I see that I'm wrong, so it's all
Correct.
fair.
It is. These are not. We're talking about Amoraim here. These are.
He also knew once he knew why, and he was able to.
So first he tied it to him. I could also do it, but then he said, "Oh yeah." Yeah. Oh, I have a video for those who like to sleep in Shiur, but I'm not going to show the whole thing because I'm just going to show. No. I'm only going to show that serious. I just remember that this has to do with today's Shiur. Right? This is what I feel like sometimes. Okay, that's the end. Torah Rabbanan. Echad Kachi Kachim. So what does it say in the Mishnah that Kachi Kachim and Kachim Kalim need shtifa? Torah Rabbanan Chatos. The beginning of the whole parsha. Look, the parsha of shtifa and Meriko. Where does it say anything about washing kalim? In Pasuk Yud Ches. It starts. It's the parsha of Chatos, and in there it talks about shtifa Meriko. So how do I know that, let's say, a shlomim, you also have to wash out the pot after you cook a shlomim in the Beis HaMikdash? Kodesh Kedoshim hi. Now wait a minute. If it says Kodesh Kedoshim, it would mean only Kodesh Kedoshim, like a chatas and asham, but not a shlomim. What's going on here? So we have to see the Gemara. So maybe Kodesh Kedoshim will include also truma. There's an exclusion. Here it is. Pasuk Chav says if you have any blood, you have to wash. Because Kodesh Kedoshim hi. Kodesh Kedoshim. Oisa and Kodesh Kedoshim. So Oisa means not Truma. Oisa rather Truma to review them. Shimon Omer Kodesh Kedoshim to Miriku Shtifa. Wait a minute. It says in the pasuk Kodesh Kedoshim. So the only thing that you need Miriku Shtifa is Kodesh Kedoshim. Kachim Kalam Einan Tuna Miriku Shtifa. It's mamish mufurish in the pasuk. Only Kodesh Kedoshim, but not Kachim Kalam. Siv Kodesh Kedoshim, Kachim in, Kachim Kalam loy. My time of the Rabbi Yehuda. So then we have to understand Rabbi Yehuda. It says mufurish in the pasuk Kachim Kachim. So where did he get Kachim Kalam? Says Rabbi Yehuda Moiridik Midi Itzrich Oisa Lemutei Truma. If the Torah was telling us only Kachim Kachim and not Kachim Kalam, so then the Torah should have just said Kachi Kachim and get rid of the word Isa. And if it comes to exclude, to be Memayit Kachi Kalim, certainly Truma. You don't have to wash Truma. If you don't even have to wash a carbon called Shlamim, then of course Truma, which is less than a carbon called Shlamim. So then why does it say the word Isa? Oh, Kodesh Kodashim is referring to also Kachi Kalim. And Isa comes to exclude only Truma.
I love this when the Gemara does this. You would have no clue what this means. It's zero. Absolutely nothing if you don't have Rashi. So Rashi says, Kidika Amrinon, where? In Daf Tzadik Gimel. Omar Aleph. So the Gemara goes through a whole thing. I'm not going to go through all this, but basically the Gemara says, I'll remind you, if you shechted an animal and blood got onto your shirt, but it never had a shasa kosher, it was never kosher, because you thought in your mind, pigul. There's no difference that, and if it had a shasa kosher, it was kosher animal, then later somebody that's tummy touched it. Over there it says, whether it had a shasa kosher or not, ain't domaton kibus, my time at the Reb Shimon, ksiv oisah. So Reb Shimon is using this word that we're just talking about, this oisah, for this halach and tzadik gimel. Mimela, the oisah is not extra. And when the Torah says kodesh kodashim, it's to exclude kachim ka'alip. But according to you, the oisah is extra. Why would the Torah say oisah if I can learn everything from the two words kachim kachim? Obviously, oisah comes to be mimayet truma. Yeah? No? Okay, weiter. Utruma lo'ibay shtipa marika. Oh, so maybe we should stop over here, even though it's a Mishnah, because, let me just see, we're kind of late. What time did we start? Are we at an hour yet?
52 minutes.
We're only 52 minutes, so let's go. Hold on, we got to finish to the Mishnah then. Utruma lo'ibay shtipa marika, I don't understand. Truma doesn't require shtifa, and marika shtifa is on the outside, marika is in the inside. If you cooked meat in a dish, you're not allowed to cook dairy in it. And how do you know if it's bad or not? You get to taste it. If you taste cholent in your spaghetti, in your lasagna, you taste cholent in your lasagna, milky dish, you have a problem. There's fleishiks, you noise and tam. What does noise and tam always tell us? That it's 1/60th. Real quickly, very interesting halacha. I'm going to get into a different masechta, not here, but I'm just going to throw it out. How do you have lasagna, and so you have to know if there's the flavor of cholent in there. Could you let your guy taste it? So according to the Shulchan Aruch, yes. According to the Ramah, no. You can't let your guy taste it. So what do? So if you're Ashkenazi, you have a good eitzah. Well, Sephardi has a great eitzah. Why? He brings a guy. But Ashkenazi could have the Sephardi taste his thing, because the guy works for a Sephardi. So you tell the guy to taste it for the Sephardi, and then the guy tells the Sephardi, and then the Sephardi tastes it. After the Sephardi gets reshus to taste it because the guy tasted it, so he tastes it and tells you that it doesn't taste like cholent, and Mamel Ashkenazi could eat it. No, it's confusing. Yeah, complicated. We'll talk about it a different time. Truma lo yavashu b'chulin, and with truma you can't cook chulin if you are not a kohen. Then bishul b'noisen tam, again, if you could taste the truma, then a Yisrael can eat it. Omar Abaya. So you see from over here that you need to wash it out. You see that even by truma you need to wash it. Omar Abaya. So we have three tirutzim. Of course, truma needs hagala. I always talk about this, that over here in this neighborhood, they do a whole beautiful thing. This is an old picture. There's tons of stations, and it's all for free. One person decided to do this because he realized that kids are doing Agalas Kim, they don't know the Allah. Over here they do it, Kol HaChumras, Kol HaDeis, and it's all free. In the official MDY parking lot in the beginning of the block. Says Abai, let's the difference between Truma and everything else is that everything else, if you cook in some of the pot, we just said you have to do shtifa to the whole pot. But when it comes to Truma, the difference of Truma is, of course, you have to wash it, but only that part that you use. Rav Amar, of course, you have to wash Truma. American shtifa, you have to use water, not wine, and not diluted wine. But when it comes to truma, you can be mekel and use wine and mazug. I think also in Echsherim, let's say you're in a chocolate factory, do you have to empty out all the chocolate and use water to do the hagalas kelim, or can you use hot chocolate
to do Hagalas Kalim? And the answer, I think you can use hot chocolate, you can use other things when it comes to products. What? Rabbi Schoenberg wrote about it this week. Okay, sorry. Shkoyach. Sweet. Another thing. Now, what's the difference between Truma and everything else? Rabbi Schoenberg, your Doilim is reading your stuff. They know. Thanks for sending it to me. The Merika Shtifa after, Betzoinen. Only with cold water. What does it mean cold water? Rabbi say, how can you wash out a pot with cold water? How can you wash out a pot with cold water? What's the answer? After. Of course you do Hagalas Kalim. Of course you do hot water. Says Rashi, Barim Hagalas Chamim. Of course you're going to do the hot, but afterwards you do cold. Ha afilu b'chamin. What does that mean? Truma doesn't require the cold. All you need to do is dunk it in hot. I think today in Hagalas Kalim they're makbid to put it in cold water afterwards, but it's not necessary. What? No. That's halacha. Like it's like going from hot to cold. It gives it a shock. Boof! All the blias fly out. No. It's not to cool it off. You see, you learn new things here. It is in addition to the Hagala you do tzoinen. This is the Hagala. So if so, Truma, why does it need Shtiva Marika? In other words, Truma doesn't need Shtiva Marika. Says Gemara, Ma'ikil Meimar, Shtiva Yatirta. There's two colds and one hot. Truma doesn't need two colds. Everything else, the Karbonis need two colds and a hot. Truma does not need. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. A Freilich Chanukah, good Shabbos.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shiur today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.